So everyone go ahead and allow that. And we'll try this again. How about that? Got it. Okay, again, let's do this. Take two. Welcome to the Consistent Copy Full Focus. Who is excited? Hands in the air. I am one of your hosts, Kelly Collins-Lentz, along with one of my favorite people, Brienne Coolidge. And first of all, I think I could speak for you, Brienne, when I just want to say we are humbled. We are honored that so many of you are choosing to give us your time. We don't take it lightly. And as everyone was joining the Facebook group and the number kept going up, I was like, Brienne, we need to make this so good. And I think that we have. I have been enjoying reading all of your introductions on the page if I don't know you and why you feel this is a good use of 60 minutes of your week. If you don't know me, I'm a Sapphire ambassador. I've been with Plexus for 5 years. By trade, for the last 30 years, I have made a living as a professional actress. And during, during 2020, when I did not step foot on a film set due to COVID, you can better believe I was very, very grateful that I had taken the time to be intentional with my Plexus business. I believe we would have lost our house had I not done that. And it set me up for just the greatest time of growth in my business because I had laid the foundation. Hang on a second. My screen is frozen. There we go. I had laid the foundation as someone who could be trusted for the previous 4 years, mainly because of my consistency in showing up. One of the things I just decided to be good at was showing up no matter what was actually going on in my business. And so the idea for this fall focus group was born from 2 different events that I experienced. The first one was actually 2 years ago. It was totally an accident, and it happened when one of my dear friends, Marguerite Craig, meet Marge, we were at Super Saturday in Atlanta, and this was January of 2019, and at one point she just got up and walked the heck out. And it was not the kind of walk out where I was like, oh, she's going to the bathroom. I was like, oh no, she's quitting entirely. And I followed her, and because I was concerned for her as a friend, and I was like, all right, Marge, what's going on? And she said something to the effect of, I just don't know if I have time to be all in with this. I'm in a season where I just want to be present for my family. I think I just need to take a step back and just evaluate what I want to do. And I almost let her walk away because I'm not really about forcing people to share Plexus with other people. You could not have persuaded me to do that before I was ready to do it. And it's usually futile if you try to do it with other people, but something inside of me, we'll call it God, said, say this to her right now. What if you don't have to be all in? So I said that out loud. What if you don't have to be all in? And she turned around and she said, what now? And I said, what if you didn't have to be all in for this to be beneficial and an effective use of your time? And I know you can't give 100% to this, but what if you gave like 15% to this? Like, do you have 30 minutes a week to do one Facebook post? And she was like, I mean, yeah, who doesn't have 30 minutes a week? But like, what good would that do? And I said, all right, listen, Marge, take a step back, evaluate your level of commitment. But while you do that, I want to encourage you to just write one well-written Facebook post a week. You can send it to me. I will help you tweak it to greatness. And let's have that be all you do right now. Because listen, people are going to get Plexus from someone. Why not you? And if all you do is keep the storefront open right now, who knows what could happen? So she agreed. For 3 months, She posted one time a week. We would discuss on Monday what she wanted to talk about. She would send it to me by Wednesday. I would kind of take a look at it, edit it. And on Friday, she would post it. So she was silver at the time. That means she had 3 people in her organization, or maybe a few more than that. And I want to very clearly state, to set your expectations, nothing happened in the first 4 to 6 weeks that she did this. But it didn't bother her at all, because for her right now, the definition of success was just keeping the storefront open. So when people didn't all of a sudden flood her DMs, it didn't matter to her, because that's not what she was even looking for. She was just attempting to add value to her audience once a week. And when she did that, she, in her own mind, was successful. But in month 3, the floodgates opened and she went gold. 20 people in her organization, spending 30 minutes a week. Now, is there a lot more to being a jewel with this company? Of course, yes, it does take more than 30 minutes to be a jewel, but this group is not about that. There's a lot of people that don't want to be a jewel. They just want to make a few extra $100 a month. So this group is for, 3 different types of people. It is for busy people who don't have 4 to 6 hours a day, but who would love to get their products free, and maybe a little more than that. It's for people who struggle with the false belief that I got to be 100% in, or I just have to be 0% in, and teaching you that even being 15% in can be super beneficial. And it's for people who really only have 30 to 60 minutes a week that they want to devote to this, but they see the wisdom of aligning themselves with something so that they can develop a source of residual income. All of those things can be accomplished merely by consistency alone. But it's for one other group. And that is the people that will need the second component of this workshop. It's for people who want to go further than that. Maybe you're already consistent, but what you're doing is not necessarily working and you don't know why. And I'm here to say that it could be your copywriting, which is the second thing we want to hone in on these 90 days. And I will honestly attribute my success, my accidental success, and the reason that I'm sitting here now as a Sapphire ambassador, to my ability to write confidently and compellingly. It's just one of the things I do. I actually have done it for a living as well. And also the fact that I did it consistently. That's it. That's truly it. So when I began to think about what I could do to help people succeed, what it is that you need, I think a lot of times we focus on systems and events and strategy and IPA and all of those things. They are important, but if we have not taken the time to set the foundation to teach you to write compellingly, that means that what you write causes people to take action, then you can have the best systems and events in the world and it just won't matter. According to network marketing guru Kristen Boss, learning to write consistent copy is the single most powerful tool you can have in your arsenal. I'm going to be very upfront with you and say that most of the content for this fall focus has been gleaned from work done by Kristen Boss and her Purposeful Social Selling Academy. She has a great podcast. Her academy is jam-packed with really great content on copywriting, and also working from a place of anti-hustle, which I'm a fan of after, my Enneagram 3-ness caused me to work in hustle for so long, and I really burned myself out. So I joined her Social Selling Academy, and that's the second thing that caused me to approach Brienne about doing something like this, because we wanted to take 3 months to teach you guys what we're learning about confident, compelling, and consistent copywriting and see what happens. And then I thought, who else in this academy is a great writer, is someone that I love, respect, and who I would love to collaborate. And the first person that popped into my mind is Brienne Coolidge. For the people on my team that don't know her, she's a Diamond Ambassador on the Jewels Facebook page. She is constantly sharing gorgeous things that she creates with all of us, including a monthly newsletter, events, graphics. She's this year's One Plexus Award winner, which is the highest honor that Plexus gives. And when she said yes to doing this with me, I was beyond thrilled and actually humbled that she thought I was worth her time. So I want to introduce her to you, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about what is in store for the next 90 days. Brienne!
Goodness me, I don't know if I can follow it up after that intro. That was amazing. Thank you. So those of you that don't know me, I think sometimes it's really simple, right? And I think everybody can agree with this. If you have ever felt this way, drop this in the chat, where you look at somebody else and you're like, man, if I could just do what she's doing, if I could just put up a post like that, then everything else would fall into place. Anybody else do that? Like the left right comparison of, I just wish that my pictures looked like that and my post would look like this. And if I could, right? Okay, here's what I want to tell you guys. And my team knows this because it's like the most laughed about. And I'm sure Wendy Graham is on here someplace. We always joke about this, that my very first video and any post that I ever put up about anything with Plexus, because I was a huge skeptic, y'all, like huge skeptic. I live in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, where a lot of people were posting, super small town, didn't have a social media presence. Everything I did, like my memories pop up from 6, 7, 8 years ago before I started this. And it was like, goodness sakes, no wonder nobody followed me. I complained about everything all of the time, right? And my first video, I kid you not, that I did, like my coming out party, if you will, on Facebook with Plexus, was me in a corner, a dark corner, kind of like this. I'm hiding in my bedroom tonight because my kids are sleeping, in my living room. And this is what it sounded like. Hey, y'all, I think that maybe I wanted to share some products with you. Susan's laughing because she's seen this. Anybody understand anything I just said? No, because you couldn't hear me. My mouth, you couldn't even read my lips because my mouth was not moving, right? And my posts were not much better. So I tell you this because you are in the right spot. If you have ever felt like, I want this, I want to be able to do it, but I don't know the next step. Where should I go from here? And what should I be doing? This really is about writing good, consistent copy. I want every single one of you right now to think about your favorite store. Where do you love going to shop, right? What does it look like on the outside when you walk in? What's it like? What's the user experience like? That's what I want your Facebook to be. Okay. That store owner, when they were putting that together, they didn't try to do anything. I mean, they probably looked at marketing, right? But they thought about who they were, what they liked, and what they could bring to the storefront. And you're attracted there because that's your style, right? They didn't need to be any other store. They didn't need to be any other person. That's exactly what we want for you out of this. One of the most common questions that I get asked, and why I was so excited when Kelly, and I love Kelly, like her videos, my team knows, we send them all the time, right? She's really good at what she does. And so when she asked me about doing this, I 1000% all in, because one of the most common questions I get asked is, can you give me the exact words that I need to say to somebody? Can you give me the exact post that I need to put up? I want to help you, and Kelly wants to help you come up with those posts and help you feel confident in who you already are. You don't need to be anything different than what you are right now. You just have to have the belief that you have the story that somebody needs to see, hear, and read. And you have that in you. We just want to pull that out of you. So if you're here for it, if you're committed to that, I want you in the chat right now, I want you to say, I am enough. That's the first step to this. Because if I could reach through every single one of you right now, I would tell you, you are enough. And the story that you have, we're going to help you hone in on it because that's what people need. All right. A couple of things that we are going to ask you guys to do every single week in this group. And I want you to write them down. I want you to commit to them because I've seen this happen more and more and more in the last 6 years. What happens at the beginning of every single group? Everybody's like, yeah, I'm in, I'm doing this, right? You join the group and then you never look at another notification. And by week 5, it's like, oh, well, I didn't do this last week. And so next week, yeah, I don't know if I can tune in. We want you to commit to this because you're worth it. Every Monday night, weekly meeting. If you do not know how to turn on notifications for a group, it is super important. Go to the group right now if you need to. Go to the consistent copy group. Up in the right-hand corner of the group, it will look like this little shield. I want you to click on it. It has a star in the middle of it. I want you to go down to your settings, and I want you to pin the group. That's going to make it one of the first groups that you see when you pop up. And then I want you to put manage notifications, and I want you to make sure that it's set to all posts. Facebook has a really funny way of trying to tell us what we do and don't need to see. And we want to make sure that you're seeing it. So number 1, weekly meeting. Kelly said this, we're going to have you write 1 post a week. Some of you, that's going to turn into more. That's what we want. We want you writing consistent copy. But for right now, that's what we're asking you, 1 post a week. Each Wednesday, and you can write this down on your sheet or in your notebook if you didn't get to print it, a weekly Wednesday workshop. Kelly and I will be jumping on from 12 to 1 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesdays, and we're going to be doing some live coaching. Now, I already know in your head, some of you are like, well, I can't get on from 12 to 1 on Wednesday, so this isn't going to work. Nope, no fear stories allowed here, no excuses, right? If you can't get on, it's okay. Kristen Boss does the same thing. I can't get on every single Wednesday for a live coaching, but what I do is I can watch them back, okay? If you can get on it, we want to coach you through live. Weekly events, this is where some things are going to be a little bit different for our teams because my team already has a group page that we do everything in. Kelly has a group that she does things in and a system that she uses. We're not going to mesh those things for this group, but we will be having weekly events that we'll use our posts for to help invite things to. And then the last thing, every Friday, and I know I'm throwing a lot at you right now. It's okay. The last thing is on Fridays, each Friday in the morning, I'm going to have a post that goes in that's a check-in for accountability. And you're simply going to post on there that you have completed the week, that you've put your post up on that Friday. Okay. The other thing that I want you to do right now, before I turn it back over to Kelly, that PDF sheet that you printed out, or if you didn't get a chance to print it out, I love it. Who was that? Marge. I love seeing it. If you have it, hold it up. If you have a notebook, hold it up. My team knows that I'm really, really big on this. I want you, and this is not, I don't want you to like, you know, when you were, I always feel like we're back in 9th grade and you're like feverishly trying to write everything down. And then you're fearing the red pen. I was a teacher. Like, you're not going to get all the notes down. You're not going to get all the things. That's not what this next couple of minutes is. I don't actually want you to write anything on that sheet right now. I'm going to give you until Wednesday to fill that out, and I'll have a post that goes in, and then we're going to share them. But a little guideline while you're doing this, and the reason that I put that together. I want you to have a goal, right? What do you want to get out of this? Is it that you want to feel more confident? Is it that you want to put up a couple of posts a week that you feel really, really good about? Whatever that is for you, I want you to write your goal down. In this company, you hear people talk all the time. And my team, you've heard me say this. You could probably get on, Baker, and you could give this speech, right? Because you're on every Zoom and I talk about this all the time. I want you to think about your why for this group. What is it that you want out of this? Is it like Kelly said, you want the extra products, you want it to be covered, you want $500 a month? Is this your catalyst for turning into a jewel? And then I want you to think about your why not. What is standing in your way from making those things happen? That is just as important to me as your why. You can say you're going to show up every single Monday night because you want an extra $1,000 a month. But if your why not is that you're not scheduling in the time to show up, it's not going to happen. I want you to think about both. And I want you to have that sheet, make a date right now with yourself for 30 minutes. When over the next 48 hours can you spend 30 minutes and fill out that sheet before Wednesday night? And then I want you to put it someplace where you see it. Whether it's behind your desk, wherever it is, I want you to post it so that you have that reminder of why you're tuning into these calls for the next 3 months. Because at the end of this, when we graduate together, I want this to be something that you look back on and you're like, man, I did it, I accomplished it, and I am so proud of where I'm at. All right, Kelly, back to you.
Okay. So, hang on. All right, here's the thing. We said we're going to do one post a week, but this week, Brie and I have to go to Mexico. Can I get an Olay? So rather than taking the time to do a post this week, I want you to take the time to fill that out. I'm only asking you for 60 minutes a week, 30 minutes on this call, and 30 minutes to really sit down and think about a post that you might want to write and to work with myself or with Brienne to make it exactly, what it needs to be. So the real content of teaching you how to do all of this will begin next week on the 13th, next Monday night. That'll technically be week 1. But we thought while we're in Mexico, it would be a great time to give you some prep work to do. And we really only want you to do 2 things this week. The first one is we want you to do a photo session. Oh my gosh, the panic. I can see it in your face. One of the reasons why a lot of you don't post is because you're like, oh my gosh, then I got to take a picture and I'm like gross from running and I haven't, showered. We want you to not have that as an excuse. We want you to do some photos where you are hair and makeup ready. And it is important. Why? You don't see bad photos in the advertising for a brick and mortar store. Like Brienne was talking about, when you walk by a store and you see like the models and the thing, you don't see just haphazard photos. Now, does this mean that you need to be Elle Macpherson? No, we want you to be you, but we want you to be the best version of you in these photos, not just you at the last minute, like a haphazard, unplanned selfie. So we want you to take yourself seriously as a business owner, okay? So you don't have to look like the cover of Vogue, but you should be hair and makeup ready. Here's a couple examples of some fun photos, okay? Didn't take Brienne a lot to take that photo. You might have taken that yourself. Did you take that one yourself? She took that one herself. Now, this one that I did was from a little bit more of a professional photo shoot. This one, my daughter snapped of me when I was sitting on the beach. I always look for opportunities to take great photos when I can. Maybe you want to take some good product photos. or just a photo of you with your pink drink, there is a Facebook page called One Plexus Graphics and Photos. Some fabulous photos of just product on there. You might want to pull a few of those to have. So when you do this, here's some tips, and we're going to post these in the group. You want to take your picture facing indirect natural sunlight, have a clear subject and focus, no blurred faces. You should always ask yourself what's in the background. Like I always tell people when I get them started, like, don't take photos of you sitting in a Barca lounger in your living room looking like a serial killer. Nobody wants to buy things from an axe murderer, okay? So if that means that you need to enlist a friend, maybe you live in the same town as somebody and you guys can go out together, grab 2 or 3 outfits and just go take some fun pictures of you with your pink drink, you with active, maybe you with your lean shake, maybe you holding up the product that means the most to you. Use your creativity there for that. That's the first thing we want you to do. The second thing we want you to do is invite your teammates. Now, you may not have any teammates, so this won't apply to you unless you have a friend that you're like, you know what, you should do this with me. There is nothing, if you have 60 minutes a week and you want to develop an income that's several $100s a month, do this with me. So for people that already have a team of people under them, here is what I think you should do. You want to just ask a question. You don't want to give them a TED talk of, hey, I'm doing this thing and we're going to meet for 30 minutes. And then 30 minutes, you're going to go on your own and you're going to do a post. You don't want to give them all that information up front. You want to start with a question. This is what I did with some of you. I just said, are you open at all to sharing your journey with these products on social media? If they say, I would rather run off a cliff naked and on fire, then probably you don't need to tell them about this group. But so that's what I would start with first. Another option is somebody that's been using the products for a while. You could say something like, hey, so-and-so, quick question. You've been using and loving these products for a while and have had success. What do you think about sharing your journey with your audience? Are you open to doing so if it could be done in a way that is authentic? So those are 2 messages I would send. Now, this is probably the last time that we will give you wording and verbiage, because we want you to learn how to just talk to people and be normal. Nobody likes to get a canned message from people. But in this case, I knew it would help. And please youify this. If they say, yeah, you know what, maybe I am interested, here's a great message to send them. Awesome. Beginning next week, I'm going to be a part of a fall focus group. We're going to learn to do one thing and one thing well, write great copy about Plexus and commit to posting it once a week. The time commitment would be 30 to 60 minutes a week with the goal of developing enough of a presence that when New Year's rolls around, you have developed enough of a consistent presence that people come to you. Sound like something you want to invest some time into? Okay, so just something like that. Maybe you've already done this. And like, I want you to send, a lot of you are like, well, I've already talked to all my people. I bet you haven't. I bet what I want you to do is ask the people who don't want a business about this, or who have never indicated interest, or who have never posted and maybe don't even want to. Ask those people, I mean, do you have 30 minutes a week that you'd want to devote to this? Okay. All right. So that's that. Now, you might be a little overwhelmed. That's okay. As Kristen Boss says, we want you to calm your butt down. This is going to be different. If you've been around Plexus a while and you've done trainings, this is going to be different. You might be used to doing IPA challenges, or for those of you who are new, IPA means income producing activity challenges, where you like, they give you like 95 things to do every week. And like the first week, you're like, I am on top of this. I am going to do it. And you do it. And then week 2 rolls around and you're like, 95 things a week is really freaking tiring. And so you stop doing any of the things, or you decide, I don't even like those things. I don't like this business model. I don't want to do this. And you miss out on what doing less could have gotten you. So we are actually going to give you less to do than you've ever been given. And you might even wonder if it would even be effective. But our goal here is to help you stay consistent. We want to give you so little to do that you can't help but get it done and say, like, I kind of want more to do. All right. We want there to be no excuse for you not completing what we give you 100%. And if you can't do this, if you can't post one time a week, then you'll know I don't think this is the business for me. You don't want it, or you have not sold yourself on the value of it. So this will be a test for you as well. And I want to challenge you, like Brienne said, to complete all 12 weeks. I want you to finish this. We start things so often, but how often do we finish things? Write 12 really good posts. And if you do that in this last quarter of 2021, your first quarter could be gangbusters. And a lot of people slow down in the last quarter of the year. And we're going to do that in a sense, but we're going to do it by focusing on being consistent and showing up so that then we can speed up in December and January. Okay? We good? Everyone clear? Anyone have any questions? Real quick. You can either put them in the chat or unmute yourself. There is no first post yet, Marge. See, that's the thing. I'm not even telling you to write a first post. How this is going to work, Sally, is next Monday, we're going to do session 1 of this, because this week you are really going to commit to taking some great photos to use when we do end up posting, right? That's all you're going to do. And you're going to complete the worksheet that Brienne gave you. Mondays, you'll figure out what it is you want to say that week. Wednesdays, we will workshop some of them. We obviously can't workshop all 85 of you, but we will probably put up a post and say, who would like to be coached live? And then I might have you send me your posts ahead of time and I'll choose a couple. The other thing I want to say, and I'm going to say a little bit more about this next week, I can't teach you to write in 1 week. So just know that each week you're going to apply just one little aspect of what we want to teach you. So it's not going to be perfect. It's going to be yucky at first. It's going to be kind of like when you start taking the triplex and there's some detox and it gets worse before it gets better. Just keep drinking your water, keep coming back. And so when do we post? And then we'll post them on Friday every week for the next 12 weeks. How many photos do you recommend taking? Sarah, I would love for you to have 6 to use, and then halfway through, we will do it again. We will do another photo shoot. So 6 posts, maybe do 1 with pink drink, 1 with active, 1 with lean, 1 with your favorite product. It's really made a difference for you. 1 of you with no products whatsoever. I would recommend you doing 1 or 2 of you working on your phone or your computer, because we're going to do some posts about the business, inviting people to join this business. So take a few pictures of you working. Yeah, there's no right or wrong to it. Take a bunch of, and I would have maybe 2 or 3 different outfits, 2 or 3 different tops. You might, maybe workout clothing is one of them. You don't have to be like, you don't have to have lashes on for this, but I'm just saying to make them make them planned out. You are marketing and you can't market. And if you're like, oh my gosh, but I hate myself in photos, That's okay too. There's other people that hate themselves in photos. They need to hear from you. They need to hear from you too. You have something to offer them. All right. So that's all you're going to do this week. And as far as turning your notifications on, don't worry. We will not be spamming you with tons of content. There might be one post a day that goes up. This week, we're going to put up some videos from some jewels to encourage you about that are going to speak directly to this group of people about why you should be doing this, why they're glad they did it, because they're sitting next to me on a beach towel in Mexico. Okay? Have fun in Mexico, you two. Thank you, guys. I'm telling you, when I started doing this 5 years ago, I had no idea what this was going to turn into, but it has been the thing I'll regret least in my life, aside from, my husband and children. Well, no, yes. So it's just the best thing I've ever done. And if you give an hour a week to it consistently, you just won't regret it. So we're so glad you guys are here. Brienne, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, actually, yes. Again, commit to this, right? I cannot tell you enough how 3-month sprints have built businesses. Like this right now, I know we live in an Amazon Prime society, right? You're going to feel like, okay, well, I put up a really good post on Friday, and by Friday night, I didn't have 72 people join my team. It's not working. I'm done. That's not what this is, right? We want you to commit to growing yourself, because if you put the time into this, it's going to come naturally, right? Those times when you sit down at your phone or your computer and you write, and then you back up and you write 2 more words, and then you erase it all, and then you write again, it's going to start flowing for you, because you're going to have that belief and that confidence at the end of this. That's what we want for you. And we set this up because in January, people are ready, right? They're ready to start something, and they will have been watching you then.
Right. We want you to be, your success in this is not going to be determined by how many people join you in Plexus. It's going to be about how consistent you were, the process. That's why we're not giving you too much to do. We want you to just get really good at this one thing, just this one thing. And one more thing. I saw a lot of people in the comments of the post where we're like, what do you want out of this? A lot of you said things like, I want to learn how to systems, and I want to learn how to duplicate. Those are great things to learn. It's not what you're going to learn here. Okay. There's other places you can go to learn that. This is where you're going to learn to write. And that's it. And write consistently. Okay. This will be posted on the page if you want to watch it back. Have a great week. You'll hear from us in Mexico. We are honored that you're going to spend this time with us. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.